Have you ever wondered if you're unknowingly doing things that push people away, but no one has the heart to tell you? As we age, we settle into habits that feel comfortable, even natural. Yet, some of these habits can quietly become blind spots, subtly shaping how family, friends, and even strangers perceive us. In this video, we'll uncover 12 behaviors you might not realize are impacting your relationships and diminishing the grace and respect you've earned over a lifetime. Stay with us until the end, because by understanding these habits and learning simple, actionable ways to shift them, you'll not only strengthen your connections but also rediscover a sense of confidence and dignity that transforms how you experience yourself and the world around you. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video. You can help me continue to spread the old age lesson. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment number 1. If you don't like it, comment number 0 to let me know, so I can make a better video for you. Now let's get started. Number 1. Neglecting personal hygiene. Personal hygiene is one of the most fundamental ways we communicate self-respect, yet it's often the first area to slip as we age. This isn't about dramatic neglect. Few people entirely abandon cleanliness. Instead, it's the subtle lapses that others notice. Clothing that appears rumpled or worn repeatedly without washing, hair that looks uncombed or greasy, fingernails that are uneven or overly long, or a faint body odor that lingers in close quarters. These small oversights, while seemingly minor, carry significant weight in how others perceive us. Hygiene is more than just cleanliness. It's a reflection of how we value ourselves and our place in the world. In our youth, maintaining these habits often feels automatic, driven by social norms or personal pride. But as we age, life's demands, whether physical fatigue, shifting priorities, or a sense of why bother, can erode these routines. The shift is gradual, almost imperceptible to the individual, but strikingly obvious to those around them. Others rarely address these lapses directly. Friends, family, or younger relatives may hesitate to speak up, fearing they'll cause embarrassment or offense. Instead, they adapt in subtle ways, sitting a bit farther away during visits, shortening conversations, or hesitating to offer a hug. These adjustments aren't about rejecting the person but responding to the unspoken message their self-care conveys, a quiet resignation, a hint that they've stopped prioritizing vain worth. The impact of neglecting hygiene extends beyond physical appearance. It influences how others engage with us on an emotional level. When we present ourselves as cared for, with fresh clothes, clean hair, and trimmed nails, we signal to the world, I'm still engaged. I value myself and respect those around me. This invites warmth, closeness, and dignity in return. Conversely, when hygiene falters, people may unconsciously withdraw, offering less warmth or respect, not out of malice, but because they sense a disconnection. Maintaining hygiene doesn't require perfection or vanity. A clean shirt, a quick shower, or a moment to brush your hair can make a profound difference. These small acts are a declaration of presence and self-worth, radiating an energy that others respond to before a single word is spoken. By prioritizing hygiene, we not only honor ourselves but also foster stronger, more affectionate connections with those we care about. Number 2. Speaking without a filter. As we grow older, many of us experience a shift in how we express ourselves. The internal filter that once cautioned, "Think before you speak," begins to fade. For some, this feels like a hard-earned freedom, a chance to speak their mind without restraint, often accompanied by a sense of, "I've lived long enough to say what I want." While this candor can feel liberating, it often leaves others feeling uneasy, hurt, or distanced. There's a delicate balance between honesty and tact. Remarks that feel truthful to the speaker, comments about someone's appearance, lifestyle choices, parenting, or relationships, can land as sharp criticism when delivered without care. For example, a passing comment like, "You've put on some weight," or "Kids these days are too soft," might be brushed off by the speaker as just being honest. But to the recipient, these words can sting, especially when they're unprompted or delivered in a casual, offhand way. The challenge is that people rarely vocalize their discomfort. Instead, they protect themselves by pulling back. You might notice fewer invitations to family gatherings, briefer phone calls, or a reluctance to share personal details. These are signs that your words, however well-intentioned, are creating distance. The love and respect others feel for you remain, but they're shielding themselves from the emotional toll of blunt or careless remarks. This doesn't mean you must suppress your thoughts or tiptoe around every conversation. Instead, it's about cultivating mindfulness, pausing to ask, is this comment necessary? Will it uplift or hurt? Honesty is most effective when paired with compassion. A kind delivery can transform a potentially painful truth into a moment of connection. For instance, instead of critiquing someone's choices, asking a gentle question like, "How's that been going for you?" opens the door to meaningful dialogue without judgment. The wisdom that comes with age is a gift, but its impact depends on how it's shared. When your words are wrapped in kindness, people lean in, eager to hear your perspective. Sarcasm, judgment, or bluntness, however, can cause them to tune out, even if your intentions are pure. By choosing words that build rather than break, you wield the power to strengthen relationships and earn deeper respect. Your voice, seasoned by experience, becomes a beacon of connection rather than a source of discomfort. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Number 3. Wearing clothes that don't fit anymore. Clothing is a powerful form of self-expression, and as we age, what we wear communicates how we see ourselves in the present moment. Many people cling to familiar routines, eating the same meals, walking the same routes, or wearing the same clothes they've owned for decades. While consistency is comforting, clothing that no longer fits or reflects your current self can send an unintended message of disengagement. Ill-fitting or outdated clothing, pants that are too loose or tight, shirts that have faded or stretched, shoes that are worn beyond repair, or styles that belong to a bygone era, does more than affect your appearance. It suggests a disconnection from the present, a reluctance to adapt to the changes in your body, lifestyle, or environment. Others notice these details, even if they don't comment. A shirt that clings uncomfortably or a jacket that's frayed at the edges quietly signals that you've stopped paying attention to how you present yourself. This isn't about chasing fashion trends or dressing to impress. It's about honoring the person you are today. As our bodies change with age, weight fluctuates, posture shifts, and skin tones evolve, clothing that once flattered may no longer suit. Wearing items that fit well and feel comfortable reflects self-awareness and emotional presence. It tells others, I'm still here, engaged in the world, and proud of who I am. People respond to this effort instinctively. When they see an older adult in well-fitting, cared-for clothing, they feel admiration, not for the clothes themselves, but for the dignity and vitality they represent. Conversely, outdated or ill-fitting attire can prompt unconscious judgments, leading others to treat you with less reverence. They may not articulate it, but the shift in their demeanor, fewer compliments, less engagement, speaks volumes. Updating your wardrobe doesn't require a complete overhaul or a hefty budget. Simple changes, like replacing a worn-out pair of shoes or choosing a shirt that complements your current shape, can make a significant difference. Comfort and confidence are key. A well-fitting pair of jeans, a crisp blouse, or a jacket that suits your frame can transform how others perceive you, not because of the fabric, but because of the self-respect it conveys. By dressing for the present, you signal that you're still vibrant, aware, and worthy of respect. Number 4. Interrupting or dominating conversations. In our later years, the desire to share our experiences and wisdom can be strong. After decades of navigating life's challenges, we have stories, insights, and advice to offer. But when this eagerness to contribute overshadows the voices of others, it can strain relationships in ways that are hard to detect. The habit often begins innocently. During a conversation, someone mentions a topic you're familiar with, and you dive in, sharing a story, offering advice, or explaining how things should be done. Before long, you've been speaking for several minutes, and others have fallen silent. This tendency doesn't stem from arrogance or malice. It's often driven by a genuine desire to connect or help. But the effect is the same. It leaves others feeling unheard and undervalued. People rarely confront this behavior directly. Instead, they withdraw subtly, calling less often, keeping conversations brief, or hesitating to share personal thoughts. Younger family members, in particular, may feel overshadowed, unsure of how to assert themselves in a conversation dominated by someone they respect. Over time, this creates a quiet rift, leaving you wondering why interactions feel less fulfilling or frequent. The key to avoiding this pitfall lies in balance. It's not about speaking less but listening more. Pausing to ask questions, allowing others to finish their thoughts, and resisting the urge to offer unsolicited advice can transform a conversation. When you create space for others to express themselves, you show that their perspectives matter. This is especially important with younger generations, who may already feel a generational gap and crave validation from someone with your experience. One of the most powerful gifts you can offer is the act of truly hearing someone. By holding back just enough to let others shine, you become a trusted confidant rather than a lecturer. People will seek your input more eagerly when they know you value their voice. Your wisdom, when shared thoughtfully, carries greater weight, fostering connections that are rich, mutual, and enduring. Number 5. Complaining about kids these days. It often begins with a fleeting observation. A teenager engrossed in their smartphone at a family gathering, a young adult making a career choice that seems impractical, or a coworker in their 20s navigating life in ways that feel foreign to you. You might think, when I was their age, we valued face-to-face connection, or they don't understand how the real world works. These thoughts, initially private, can subtly weave their way into casual conversations, at the dinner table, during a coffee break, or even with a stranger at the grocery store. Before long, critiquing kids these days becomes a reflex, a default lens through which you view younger generations. What you may not realize is the ripple effect of these comments. Constant criticism of younger people sends a powerful message, one that's often more damaging than intended. To your children, grandchildren, or younger colleagues, it signals a lack of interest in their perspectives, a dismissal of their reality, and an unwillingness to bridge the gap between your world and theirs. It suggests you're tethered to a bygone era, unable or unwilling to engage with the present. This isn't a new phenomenon. Every generation has looked at the one following it with skepticism, convinced they're missing some essential quality. Socrates himself lamented the youth of his time, claiming they lacked respect and discipline. Yet, when criticism becomes your go-to response, it doesn't elevate your wisdom in others' eyes. It risks painting you as bitter, out of touch, or judgmental. To those under 50, especially, these remarks can feel like a personal rejection. They hear not just a critique of their generation but a dismissal of their values, their struggles, and their way of navigating a world that's vastly different from the one they knew. The impact is subtle but profound. Younger people may stop sharing their thoughts, avoid deeper conversations, or keep interactions surface level to sidestep your judgment. Even those who love your children, grandchildren, or younger friends may begin to hold parts of themselves back, creating an emotional distance that's hard to bridge. They might still call or visit, but the openness, the vulnerability, the real connection you crave? That fades, replaced by polite but guarded exchanges. The antidote isn't about abandoning your perspective or pretending to embrace every trend, technology, or cultural shift. You don't need to love TikTok, agree with every new societal norm, or adopt the slang of Gen Z. Instead, it's about choosing curiosity over condemnation. Replace "these kids have it so easy" with "what's it like growing up with all this technology?" Or "what challenges are you facing in today's job market?" These questions don't just invite dialogue, they create a space where younger people feel seen and valued. They signal that you're not just a critic but a listener, someone who respects their reality even if it differs from your own. Your true influence lies not in how loudly you defend the past, but in how gracefully you connect it to the present. When younger people feel respected, they're more likely to seek your advice, share their dreams, and turn to you not out of obligation but out of genuine trust. You become more than the elder in the room. You become the mentor they admire, the confidant they rely on, the voice of wisdom that listens before it speaks. That's the kind of legacy that endures. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Number 6. Ignoring modern etiquette. There's a quiet social contract that governs how we move through shared spaces today, one that's easy to overlook until it's breached. Picture this. You're in a crowded coffee shop, speaking loudly on your phone about a personal matter. Or you're standing a bit too close to someone in line at the grocery store, unaware of their discomfort. Perhaps you're watching a video on your tablet in a waiting room, the sound blaring without headphones. These behaviors, small and often unintentional, carry a surprising weight in how others perceive you. Decades ago, these actions might have been shrugged off. Loud conversations in public were more common, personal space norms were looser, and technology didn't yet dominate our interactions. But the world has shifted, and with it, so have expectations. What once passed as harmless now registers as inconsiderate, making those around you, strangers, co-workers, even family, quietly uncomfortable. Rarely will someone confront you directly. Instead, you might notice a sidelong glance, a subtle step back, or someone quietly relocating to another seat. These are the unspoken cues of modern etiquette being violated. The message these breaches send is unintended but clear: I'm not aware of my impact on others. In a world that's more interconnected yet more sensitive to personal boundaries, these moments matter. Younger generations, in particular, are attuned to these norms, shaped by a culture that prioritizes consideration and awareness in shared spaces. When they observe these behaviors, they don't always attribute them to a generational gap or innocent oversight. Instead, they may assume disregard or a lack of adaptability, which can erode the respect you might otherwise command. The good news? This is one of the easiest habits to adjust, and the payoff is immediate. Start by observing the behavior of those around you in public spaces. Notice how people manage their volume during phone calls, maintain a respectful distance in lines, or use earbuds for media in shared settings. Modern etiquette isn't about rigid rules or suppressing your personality. It's about demonstrating that you're still engaged with the world, still attuned to the comfort of others. Simple adjustments, like lowering your voice, stepping back to give space, or plugging in headphones, signal that you're not just present but considerate. This awareness does more than improve fleeting interactions with strangers. It reshapes how your family, friends, and community see you. Your grandchildren notice when you navigate a crowded room with care. Your neighbors appreciate it when you keep shared spaces pleasant. These small acts of mindfulness build a quiet but powerful respect, marking you as someone who adapts, who cares, and who carries themselves with dignity in a fast-paced world. In an era where so many rush through life unaware, that kind of presence stands out, and it's a legacy worth cultivating. Number 7. Oversharing medical problems. It's a familiar scene. A group of older friends gathers, and within minutes, the conversation turns to ailments. One mentions a creaky knee, another chimes in with their latest blood pressure reading, and soon it's a back and forth about doctor visits, prescriptions, and upcoming procedures. It might feel like a natural way to bond, a shared language of aging, even a light-hearted competition. But when health complaints dominate your conversations, they can inadvertently shift the dynamic of your relationships, draining energy and creating distance where connection once thrived. Aging brings undeniable physical challenges, and there's no need to pretend otherwise. Sharing your experiences can foster empathy and understanding, especially with peers who relate. But when every chat veers toward your latest medical saga, whether it's a detailed recount of your arthritis flare-up or a play-by-play of your last hospital visit, it can overwhelm those around you, particularly younger family members. To them, these topics often feel heavy, even insurmountable. They may not know how to respond, feel powerless to help, or worry about your well-being in ways they're not ready to express. Instead of leaning into the conversation, they may withdraw, not out of disinterest but out of emotional fatigue. This shift can turn relationships from mutual exchanges into something more one-sided, where loved ones feel less like confidants and more like caretakers. The warmth of connection gives way to a sense of duty, and the stories that once defined your bond, your humor, your passions, your curiosity, get overshadowed by symptoms and diagnoses. The goal isn't to hide your struggles or put on a facade of perfect health. Rather, it's about finding balance, choosing when and with whom to share, and ensuring your conversations reflect the fullness of who you are. Consider the people you most enjoy spending time with. They're likely the ones who share their challenges, but don't let them define the moment. They mention a tough day but pivot to a funny anecdote, a book they loved, or a question about your life. You can do the same. Share your health updates with close friends or family who can offer support, but also make space for the other parts of your story. The recipe you tried, the bird you spotted, the memory that made you laugh. Ask others about their lives, their joys, and their struggles. These small shifts keep conversations vibrant and reciprocal, inviting connection rather than obligation. When you focus on what still lights you up, you don't just lift your spirits. You create a space where others feel uplifted too. Your loved ones want to know you, not just your medical chart. By weaving health updates into a broader tapestry of stories, you remind them that your life is still rich with meaning, and you invite them to share theirs in return. That's a gift that strengthens every bond. Number 8. Being stubborn about outdated beliefs. As we age, our beliefs, forged through decades of experience, become like trusted companions. They guided us through raising families, building careers, and navigating a world that once made sense. But over time, those beliefs can harden, turning from flexible frameworks into rigid absolutes. You might catch yourself saying, "That's just how things are," or "People are too soft nowadays," or "I don't need new studies to tell me what's true." These statements, born of conviction, often reflect a deeper resistance to the rapid changes reshaping the world. Technology, cultural norms, gender roles, mental health awareness, and more. To younger generations, this resistance doesn't register as wisdom or strength. It feels like a refusal to engage, a signal that you're not open to their reality. They may not challenge you outright, out of respect or fear of conflict, but quietly, they categorize you as someone they can't discuss certain topics with. Whether it's a grandchild exploring non-traditional career paths, a neighbor embracing a lifestyle you don't understand, or a coworker advocating for new social norms, these moments are opportunities for connection. When you meet them with judgment or dismissal, those doors close, and the loss is mutual. Staying open doesn't mean abandoning your core values or endorsing every new idea. It's about cultivating a willingness to listen, to ask questions, to consider perspectives that challenge your assumptions without threatening your identity. Stubbornness often masks fear. Fear of irrelevance, of losing your place in a world that feels unfamiliar. But your relevance doesn't stem from clinging to the past. It comes from your courage to meet the present with curiosity and humility. Try saying, "I haven't thought about it that way. Tell me more," or "What does that mean to you?" These phrases don't commit you to agreement. They commit you to understanding. They create a safe space for dialogue, where younger people feel valued and heard. Sometimes, you'll find their perspectives broaden your own in unexpected ways. Other times, you'll hold firm to your views but gain their respect for listening. Either way, you build bridges instead of walls. The most admired elders aren't those with all the answers. They're the ones who remain students of life, who approach change with a blend of skepticism and openness, who show that wisdom isn't about being right, it's about being present. That humility, that willingness to evolve, is what draws people to you, not just for your stories of the past, but for your role in their present. It's a legacy of connection that outlives any belief. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 3 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Number 9. Walking or moving without awareness of space. As we journey through the aging process, our physical movements naturally evolve. The brisk, confident stride of youth may give way to a slower, more deliberate pace. We might feel less steady on our feet, take extra care to avoid missteps, or pause more frequently to maintain balance. These changes are a normal part of growing older, reflecting the body's adaptation to time. However, what often goes unnoticed is how these shifts in movement can impact our awareness of the shared spaces we inhabit and the people navigating them alongside us. Picture a bustling grocery store aisle. A shopper, perhaps engrossed in reading a product label, parks their cart diagonally, unintentionally blocking the path. Or consider a crowded sidewalk where someone stops abruptly, lost in thought, causing others to swerve around them. In a busy airport terminal, two friends walking side by side drift into the oncoming flow of travelers, oblivious to the disruption they create. These moments, though small and often devoid of malice, can create friction in shared environments. The person pausing or drifting isn't trying to inconvenience others. They're simply focused on their task, their moment. But to those around them, especially in fast-paced or confined spaces, these actions register as obstacles, minor disruptions that accumulate over time. The impact of such moments extends beyond immediate inconvenience. In public spaces, malls, train stations, church hallways, or even family gatherings, repeated lapses in spatial awareness can shape how others perceive us. People rarely voice their frustration directly. Instead, they might offer a polite smile, a glance, or quietly maneuver around the obstruction. Over time, however, these interactions can lead others to form subtle judgments. They may begin to see someone as always in the way, or unconsciously adjust their behavior, avoiding walking alongside, shopping together, or navigating crowded spaces with that person. This isn't about personal dislike. It's about the cumulative weight of small, avoidable inconveniences. The key to mitigating this lies in cultivating spatial awareness, a skill that transcends physical pace. Moving slowly or cautiously is not the issue. Awareness is. By remaining mindful of our surroundings, we can move through shared spaces with grace and respect. For instance, when pausing to check a price tag, step to the side of the aisle. When walking with a companion, maintain a path that allows others to pass. In a busy environment, periodically check to ensure you're not obstructing the flow. These small adjustments signal a powerful message. You're present, you're considerate, and you value the shared experience of those around you. This awareness is particularly crucial in high-traffic settings like airports, urban sidewalks, or community events, where diverse groups converge and navigate together. Being mindful in these spaces demonstrates not just courtesy but a deeper form of social grace. It communicates that, despite the physical changes aging may bring, you remain engaged with the world, attentive to its rhythms, and committed to fostering harmony. People notice this effort, even if they don't say it aloud. They appreciate the person who moves thoughtfully, who respects the collective flow, and who makes shared spaces feel less chaotic. This kind of presence elevates you from being seen as slower to being recognized as dignified, responsible, and profoundly considerate, a quiet but impactful way to leave a positive mark. Number 10. Making jokes that don't age well. A vibrant sense of humor is a timeless gift, one that grows even more valuable with age. It lightens heavy moments, fosters warmth in relationships, and keeps us connected to others, even through life's challenges. Laughter shared across generations can dissolve tension and build bonds that endure. Yet, as we age, not all humor travels as gracefully as we might hope. Jokes that once sparked uproarious laughter in decades past may now fall flat or, worse, create unintended distance between us and those we wish to connect with. Consider the types of humor that were commonplace years ago: a sarcastic quip, a teasing remark about someone's quirks, or a joke rooted in stereotypes about culture, gender, or background. These might have been delivered with a hearty laugh and a quick, "I'm just kidding," to smooth things over. In their time, such comments often landed as playful, even endearing. But the cultural landscape has shifted dramatically. Today's world places a premium on inclusivity, empathy, and sensitivity to diverse experiences. Younger generations, in particular, are attuned to the weight of words, especially when they touch on identity or personal choices. A joke that seems harmless to the teller may feel jarring, outdated, or even disrespectful to the listener. The challenge lies in the subtlety of this disconnect. Rarely will someone confront an older person about a joke that misses the mark. Instead, they might offer a polite chuckle, change the subject, or quietly withdraw from deeper engagement. Over time, these moments can create a sense of distance. The older person may sense this shift, fewer invitations to joke around, less warmth in conversations, but struggle to pinpoint why. The root lies not in humor itself, but in its alignment with contemporary values. This doesn't mean humor must be abandoned or that every joke requires overthinking. Rather, it invites a thoughtful evolution. Before sharing a quip, ask, does this humor uplift or does it subtly put someone down? Is it clever and inclusive, or does it rely on outdated assumptions? The most enduring humor at any age is that which fosters connection. Self-deprecating stories, gentle observations about shared human experiences, or playful takes on life's absurdities. Laughing at oneself, in particular, is a powerful tool. It signals humility, relatability, and a willingness to embrace vulnerability, qualities that resonate deeply across generations. By adapting humor to reflect today's values, you demonstrate not just wit but wisdom. You show that you're not tethered to the past but are actively engaged with the present, capable of growing alongside the world. This kind of humor invites others to relax, to share in the laughter, and to see you not as the older person, but as someone who still understands, who still connects. A well-placed, thoughtful joke can open doors to relationships that might otherwise remain closed, proving that humor, when wielded with care, is a bridge that spans any age. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 4 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Number 11. Acting helpless when you're not. Aging inevitably brings changes to our physical and mental capacities. Tasks that once felt effortless, carrying heavy groceries, mastering new technology, or keeping up with a fast-paced schedule, may now require more time, patience, or assistance. These shifts are a natural part of life, and there's no shame in needing support. However, there's a critical distinction between seeking help when necessary and defaulting to helplessness when capability remains. This distinction, though subtle, profoundly shapes how others perceive and interact with us. It's easy to fall into patterns of dependency, especially for tasks that feel daunting or unfamiliar. Phrases like, "Can you just handle it for me?" or "I'll probably mess this up anyway," may slip out without much thought. Initially, these requests seem harmless, even practical. Family or friends step in willingly, happy to assist. But when such habits become routine, particularly for tasks within one's ability, they can subtly erode relationships. Loved ones may begin to feel less like partners and more like caretakers, shouldering responsibilities that don't truly require their intervention. Over time, this dynamic fosters quiet resentment, even if it's rarely expressed outright. This behavior often stems not from laziness but from fear. Fear of failure, of looking foolish, or of not measuring up to past competence. Handing off a task feels safer than risking a mistake. Yet, each time we surrender a small responsibility unnecessarily, we chip away at our independence and agency. More critically, we risk sending a message to others that we've disengaged, that we're no longer willing to try. The antidote lies in embracing effort, even when it's imperfect. People, whether family, friends, or neighbors, admire persistence far more than flawless execution. They light up when they see an older person tackling a challenge, figuring out a smartphone app, carrying their bag, or attempting a new recipe. These efforts, however small, radiate determination and vitality. When help is genuinely needed, asking for it clearly and sparingly fosters trust and respect. It shows that requests come from necessity, not habit, making others feel valued rather than burdened. Reclaiming capability builds more than just confidence. It reshapes relationships. Each small victory, from mastering a new skill to handling a daily task, reinforces your place as an active participant in your life and community. It reminds those around you that aging may alter your pace but not your strength, your will, or your dignity. The most inspiring older adults aren't those who never need help. They're the ones who know when to ask and when to stand firm, saying, "I've got this," with quiet conviction.